At this moment, I've said it and I'll repeat it again. All United players, aside maybe some one or two, maybe Onana and then Bruno Fernandes, they are all playing. Justify your inclusion. You see, they are
sure someone like Bruno Fernandes is playing.
I accept Bruno Fernandes and then Andre Onana.
And Andre Onana.
Yes.
The rest are playing just for inclusion.
They are playing just
the United goalkeeper is not playing just for inclusion. No. Hi, welcome to another interesting episode of the Almeida Review Show, where we'll be talking about some of the games that happened within Europe. Some interesting games came off. Manchester United were at Old Trafford, and it was Chelsea. But it was Ruud van Nistelrooy in the dugout for Manchester United, but they could just settle for a point after a pulsating 90 minutes of action. Also, it was Manchester City that lost their very first game of the season away at the Vitality, which wasn't good for them. But earlier on during lunchtime, it was Arsenal at the St. James's Park. And guess what happened? They also suffered a narrow defeat at the hands of Newcastle. So it looks like the title race is beginning to shape up in England. We'll be talking extensively about the games that happened, especially the Manchester United versus Chelsea game. But don't forget to also have your say in the comment section, and then subscribe and then share the content. But let me first of all introduce my pundit for today. I have Courage to my right and then Atiga Mauli Force to my left. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Let's start off with your player of the weekend. Which player really excited you the most?
It has to do with Moise Caicedo. Fantastic chap. Yes, he played very well against Manchester United. Games like this are very, very nervy games. But then he had, for me, my rating now, he rating 9.6 over 10. He did very well.
Are you kidding me? 9.6 with what?
The first midfielder to score such a golazo.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I think the goalkeeper could have done better.
No, goalkeeper had no chance because the players were crowded in front of him. He didn't even see the ball entering into the goal. So come on, that was a very, very spot on kick.
All right, so Adia, welcome.
Well, to really pick a player of the week is going to be quite difficult because the weekend did have a lot of players who perform above what we normally do expect from them. One is Moses Caicedo, as has been indicated. And then you go to Bournemouth where you have the Ghanaian chap.
Semenyo played
very well. Fantastic player by our standard. And, against Man City he was unplayable. He was on top of his game, and for the fact that he was able to single-handedly dismantle the Man City team just tells you the fact that he's come about as a player. The past couple of years he's not been that there, but this season he's been great a lad. He's been great a player, and on that particular day, his output, statistically was unplayable. So to me, it's going to be between Moses Caicedo and then Antoine Semenyo.
But who was your standout performer between these two? Yeah, they both impacted their game. Semenyo getting Bournemouth their very first goal in that game, which propelled them to victory. You have Caicedo also scoring, that important equalizer, earning Chelsea a point. So between these two, who do you think will be your...
Both players scored fantastic goals, you understand? Yeah. I mean, for Antoine Semenyo to be able to peg back, Vadiol with all his strength, right? The ability for him to have 10 in such a way. Those are 10s that are meant for, typical number 9s, somebody like Didier Drogba and Samuel Eto'o. But this is something that I have not really seen from Antoine Semenyo. So for him to do it on that particular, it just shows that what he has, the temerity he has, arsenals that we have not seen yet. But you see, I'm going to say that I might give it to Moses Caicedo, considering the fact that last season he was shambolic. Last season, it might have been because of the amount of money that has been used to buy him, 150 million quid, right? So this season is coming into himself, and for him to have run ragged, it just reminds you of what was the name, the former Chelsea lad, was the French guy, the one who has gone to Kante. What Kante used to do in there. There's so much comparison between these two players, so I might give Caicedo a bit of an edge.
All right, so let's talk about the games that happened. Let's start off with that lunchtime kickoff game at the St. James's Park. It was a game that, you'd be thinking was going to be very, very tough for us now. Considering what they've gone through in recent weeks. But, it looked like it was that same form from midweek after Newcastle beat Chelsea in the Carabao Cup to advance to the quarterfinal. It was that same mentality. Everything was just the same. They just applied, that a bit of aggression, and then it was a win. You think gradually Arsenal are beginning to slip?
They started slipping from the beginning of the season. Josiah, to have come second 2 consecutive times, to have come second where you could have been first weighs on you mentally, right? Have they got a squad depth? Have they got a size to compete with Man City and then Liverpool? Nobody really gave Man City, nobody really gave Liverpool a chance this season, but they are the surprise dogs, right? So it just tells you that what Arsenal do not have the mentality, they do not have the momentum, they do not have the squad, because see, injuries have set in, suspensions have set in, and the squad is as if they've never played professional football before. This shows you that what they don't have the capacity.
Would you say mentally they're worn out? Would you say they look
that is exactly what I'm trying to say. You see, I don't want to blame it on tactics, because sometimes tactically you're going to be there. Yeah. You understand? But
the hunger.
How are you going to be able to interpret that on the pitch? The hunger, like you did say, do they have what it takes to go over the line? Do you understand? So sometimes, you see, I don't think they have that mental fortitudeness to challenge this season.
You think it's over for them?
It is over because of what Ancelotti is doing at Liverpool. If Man City were doing well, that would have been a different thing altogether. Yeah. If Liverpool were not doing well, that would have been a different thing altogether. But here you've got a Liverpool squad, even if they are not playing well, they are winning matches. Against Chelsea, they were poor, but they still won. Yeah. At the end of the day, what did the coach say? Even if they do not play well, the most important and the most practical thing is for them to win the games.
Sure.
So that is the mentality that you have to build into the players. Mo Salah will come to the party and not play for the whole 90 minutes. It's going to get you the winning goal. That is the mentality that, you see, those are the kind of players that Arsenal do not have. That even if they are poor on the day, they're going to get you the wins. If Arsenal is playing well, they're going to get you wins. If Saka is playing well, it's going to get you goals. If Odegaard is playing well, it's going to get you goals. If Martinelli is playing well, it's going to get you goals. But should they not perform well, should they have a dip in form, then it means that the whole squad is not going to get you what you really want. So that, to me, is a problem.
Do you agree? Do you think at this point, after their predicament, the players being sent off, dropping points, losing at Newcastle, you think the season is already over for Arsenal?
No. It's way too early to be calling it all over for us now. You see, this is more like a marathon. It's not a short distance race. You see, my problem has to do with Arteta trying to justify his new signings. You see, anytime he has a new guy, he tries to rush the guy into matches.
No, we didn't see that with Calafiori.
No, but it's not.
It was warmed into.
It's not about rushing players into the play, right? Mm-hmm. There's a necessity. Do you understand? Because if the Arsenal setup were complete, I don't think that Calafiori is going to be rushed in. Mm-hmm. I don't think that the new players are going to be rushed in because they've been rugged with suspensions and with injuries.
But you think it's justified to move Thomas Partey to a right back position and play Mikel Merino in that position? You think it's justified
to do with that a match like this? You should introduce the player progressively, bit by bit, like what he did with Trossard last season. You see, but
that was when he had a full squad.
Trossard has never been a front runner, right? Yeah. Trossard has never been a starter.
He's deputizes for.
You understand? So,
yes.
So,
no, but even with Merino, you think the point is, was it justified to play? There was Ben White, who was on the bench, who could have played as a right back,
and then
place Thomas Partey as a stopgap. Right back and plays Merino.
Yes, but then he wants to tell, I don't know if that's not want to prove that Arsenal supporters or the owners that no, I think this guy is good, that's why I went for him. But it doesn't work that way. If the player is not exceptionally good or not better than the material you have currently, you don't rush the player.
You think he had it wrong even with the setup to begin with?
Yes, he started that with Kai Havertz last season.
Yeah.
playing in midfield.
Yeah, that's left central midfield.
Yes, that was not necessary. You have the players, play them at the right positions. When he brought in Russian, Zinchenko, he tried that, but got to know that no, I have better players in Tierney and then the likes. You see, so be patient with the player, introduce them gradually, but then forcing them to, so I think Merino he came to complicate their game. You see, the second half when he sent Partey into the midfield and then got
it got better for them. Yeah.
Yes.
So you think at this point it's over elaboration, overthinking,
yes, trying to prove everybody,
over experimenting on the part of Arteta is what is possible.
Experimental. You should be direct. See, play the players at their right positions. You see, so it was just a disappointment.
But you think they've lost the league at this point? You look at the pace of Liverpool. You talk about Manchester City. Yeah,
the point gaps are very close.
Still tight. They are still
from first to fifth.
The problem he has is that he can fathom the reason why Arsenal should be playing this form. It might be a marathon race, right? But if you lose a step, if you lose a pace, how are you going to recover? If Arsenal were playing well and they've got a problem, I'm not going to sit here and say
they're not playing well.
They are not playing well.
Okay,
you see, I'm coming. We are just opposing what Arsenal is doing this season compared to what they've been able to do over the past couple of seasons, right? Yeah. If you are a sports pundit and you really understand and appreciate football, there's no way that you're going to stand anywhere and tell me that Arsenal is playing well this season. The Arsenal that we know under any circumstance is going to go to Newcastle and then get.
But based on the strength of the other two teams they are competing with, you think
Newcastle are
they still have? No, you look at the strength of City and the strength of Liverpool.
Manchester
now, you think
City hasn't also been at their best?
So there's still a chance for Arsenal based on despite the fact that there's been a drop in performance.
Even I'm a Chelsea supporter. I must be honest. That Chelsea are also not playing any better this season.
Nobody put Chelsea.
I just want us to look at the title.
Nobody put Chelsea.
Look at the strength of the teams that are competing for the title. You look at how Liverpool are playing.
Josiah,
if you want to look at things from performances, we might be so far from the real issue. See, let's look at the league log and then analyze the points. How much point gap is it between the first, which is Liverpool?
But if you're dealing with the law of averages and also your projections, you think Arsenal could just turn the curve and just move?
Yes, football. There are a lot of uncertainties. Maybe they are at the curve of struggling. But
you see what has Arsenal shown for you to say that they can tragically upturn the curve? What have they shown? This is a team
that they have their players coming back from injury.
This is a team that at their best, right? At their very best, they could not hold on to 7 points. At their very best.
That was last season.
Please, I'm making a point.
We are in a new season.
You are saying that they can have an up 10.
Yes,
right?
an up 10 means
they have their captain. For you to say that
the very best player injured.
For you to say that you can have an up 10, you should have shown something for me to stand on it data-wise, statistically to say that okay, they've been able to do that before. How you get to the point? At their very best. When they were unplayable, even when they were poor on the day, they were going to get 3 points. They could not sustain a 7-point lead. I get to the point. How much more when they are not playing well? Do you understand me? Yeah. If you look at this season, 10 matches into the league, you cannot tell me that you have an Arsenal that is well oiled, you have an Arsenal that is well organized, you have an Arsenal that is anywhere near over the last 3 seasons that we have known them. So if you are telling me that they can just have an upturn, what is going to go positive for Arsenal is if Man City and Liverpool slip. And you see, we have seen this from Man City 5 seasons, 6 seasons ago. They will not play well, and then they can go on a 20-match unbeaten run.
But is it happening? Is it something that looks realistic or possible even this season? Looking at what they are doing now.
Lost 2 games already this season.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. See, for the past 6 seasons, right? Man City can put together a 15-match unbeaten run.
It's been common with
them. So I can say, statistically, I can say, based on projections, I can say, based on what has happened before, that they are likely to do that again because they've been able to do it. Let's come to Arsenal again. Have they been able to do it? No. So on what basis can I say that with their current form, they can have an upturn? You see, so going on likelihoods and projections, I am saying for a fact that even though it is a long haul, even though it's a marathon, even though it's a long season, per what is happening currently, I do not factor in Arsenal in winning the league. It is going to be far from them.
All right, so that's what Foz is saying. But let's look at other games as well. I'd want us to look at the biggest game of the weekend across Europe, where Manchester United, under their interim manager, that's Ruud van Nistelrooy, everyone is saying that, at least there's been, some drastic changes with the way they played. They could only settle for a draw. But Ruud ball, what's your take on Ruud ball? Did you enjoy Ruud ball?
Yes, I think they did well. Based on their standard, I didn't expect anything better than a draw against Chelsea.
But United could have won on a day.
Yes, they could have. I think that goal was somehow sensational, a bit sensational, because you look at a player of Caicedo. He's not known for shooting from that distance and then find the back of the net so easily. I think if not for them, I don't know, it's not misfortune. They practically missed a lot of balls. They were misfiring all around. Mazraoui got a very good opportunity.
Yeah, there was.
Garnacho had countless chances.
Yeah, Rashford's effort clipped.
Yes, so before eventually getting a penalty to score. And then looking at the time they scored, on the 70th minute, they could have at least held on for a 1-0 win. You see, at this moment, I've said it and I'll repeat it again. All United players, aside maybe some one or two, maybe Onana and then Bruno Fernandes, they are all playing. Justify your inclusion. You see,
sure someone like Bruno Fernandes is playing.
I accept Bruno Fernandes and then Andre Onana.
And Andre Onana.
Yes.
The rest are playing just for inclusion.
They are playing just.
The United goalkeeper
is
not playing just for inclusion.
No, but the rest.
So you think he's a constant starter?
Who is Manchester United's second goalkeeper? I bet you don't know.
No, it's Beyanda. He's there. He manned the post when they lost. They won 5-2. It's because there's a new coach. Yes. There's a new coach. But all right, you quickly. But Atika, you see Rashford, you see Garnacho, Zexi. You are looking at these players. I think United called the caliber of players. Looking at the chances they squandered on a day, you'll be thinking these guys should be doing better. You think United will be sticking to these players even under Ruben Amorim?
You know, when we talk of United standard players, I can confidently tell you that we've got 3 players in that United setup that I can say are of the quality that United needs.
3 out of 11.
3 out of 25.
3 out of 25.
Yeah. You know,
give me the list.
No, I'm going to give you the list. Yeah. I just want to make a foundation. Okay. You know? When you compare what we see currently to what we grew up to see, you understand? Mentally, physically, emotionally, for you to be able to play for Manchester United, you need to be up here. Everything should be spot on. Even if you are at a level of a 77 percentile, you are not qualified to don the Manchester United shirt. I get to the point, because if Roy Keane is captain for Manchester United, everybody's ability should be up there. Yeah. And then you come to today, 2024, and then you have a Zexi. You have what's the name?
Rashford.
And
Garnacho.
You see, we have to accept the fact that the standard has dropped. That is a fact. I get to the point. Yes, it's been difficult for them to go back to their past glory. That's a certain. And I accept the fact that you're not going to have glory periods over a long period of time. It has happened to Liverpool. It's happened to Chelsea. It's still happening to Chelsea. It's not happening to United. You know, because if you tell me that over the past 40, 45 years, the most successful club in England is Manchester United. So if they are in the turmoil, I don't really have a problem with that. But you see, over the past weekend, I was really disappointed in Chelsea, because United were there for the taking. You put yourself in a setup where you have 2 defensive-minded midfielders, right? Yeah. Who are destroyers. Fantastic on the day. But I thought that the instruction should have been to carry the ball forward more. You understand? Because you have a Lavia, you have Moses Caicedo. 2 fantastic midfielders. If you want to play responsive, if you want to project the ball meaningfully, they use the entire length of them. Remember that Old Trafford is one of the biggest pitches in England. Yeah. So you could have used the entirety of the pitch, because you have ballers on the game, you have players who can control the tempo of the game, compared to United, who only have Fernandes to control the tempo of the game. So on what basis then should you set up in the first 30 minutes in a bit of a defensive mode? That I felt was a problem. So tactically, Chelsea did not do what I expected them to do. United on the day, I expected them to do what they do, because they don't have the firepower, they do not have the tactical flexibility, they do not have the mentality, which is the most important thing, to go out there and then win at Old Trafford. And remember that Old Trafford is a place that has been that has lost their aura or their allure, because people go to Brentford goes to Old Trafford and wins 4-0. Brighton goes to Old Trafford and wins. And these are teams that on a normal day, they will go to Old Trafford for 40 years, 50 years and will not get a win. Their best is going to be a draw. So yes, let's back to the game again. I think that tactically, Chelsea did not do right. And then United, yes, for the fact that they were able to get a draw, somebody might say that yes, they did well. But to me, they did not do well. And the coming of Almiron is going to put everybody on the starting point again. Every single player in the United setup, bar Fernandes, is going to be
just Bruno. You think Bruno Fernandes will be the
Bruno Fernandes is
certain starter?
He is the only certain player who is going to have a starting spot.
Not even the goalkeeper, like he mentioned.
No, you know. Let me be frank with you, okay? When it comes to having a sweeper goalkeeper, Onana is a fantastic goalkeeper. No twist about that. He
does well as a sweeper, not on the ball.
No, he does well as a sweeper. Fantastic personality, fantastic, ability when it comes to the ball. But as a traditional goalkeeper, where you expect him to be the point winner, because I can tell you for the fact that when David De Gea was there for 3 consecutive seasons, he was their best player. For every single season after Alex Ferguson left, he was among their best players or their best players. But you come to last season, last 2 seasons, last season and this season, and the goals that United concede on an average, majority of them are as a result of what? Onana's fault, right? So on what basis?
You think United fans would agree to the fact that he's still a problem after shipping in over 80 goals last season, and they feel maybe there's been some, at least progress with the goalkeeper. You think he's still there at that level?
You see, there is progress, but the fact is that you have to quantify the level of progress that we've been able to make. If you are supposed to make a progress of maybe 25%, and the progress is at maybe 5-10%, are you going to justifiably say that the progress is good enough?
So you think he still needs to do a lot to convince Amorim that he's the man?
Goalkeepers, United have produced some of the best goalkeepers that we have seen. And for him to be categorized in that category, he needs to prove us wrong. He needs to come out and then play like what's the name? David De Gea did. He needs to come out.
There's no way he's going to get to that level. Like regardless,
he can.
At age 28,
he doesn't really matter. You see, goalkeepers age gradually, and goalkeepers when at the latter part of their career, and you see the longevity when it comes to goalkeepers is better than players. So I believe and hope
he's still growing.
That is still going to grow at least.
I don't know what you think. Evandro Onana is still growing, but it's a review of the games that happened across Europe, specifically in England, where 2 big games happened. Newcastle beaten Arsenal by a solitary goal, and then it ended Hannes even between Manchester United and then Chelsea at the Old Trafford. They say it's rude ball. I don't know how rude they are, but on the day it was just good football if you happen to watch that game. So you can also have your say in the comment section. Have you been impressed so far with Ruud van Nistelrooy in the dugout for Manchester United? And which players do you think would be starting or could claim a starting position if Amorim should join the team on November 11th? Bye.